Hi everybody, welcome back to Hive Reads, Addison's teen videos for book recommendations, story reading, and everything book and reading related. So today I am continuing to read a short story. It is called 10 Rules for Being an Intergalactic Smuggler, the Successful Kind. And it is from Monstrous Affections, an anthology of beastly tales. The story is by Holly Black. And so far, we've gone through 5 of the rules as our narrator tells the story and gives us these rules. She got onto her uncle's ship and as a stowaway, and he said, "Fine, you can stay." So she thinks that's great. They can be a intergalactic smuggling duo. They have a job to transport some cargo. We don't know what the cargo is, but we're going to transport it. We know it's something very important. It's in like a weird casket thing with some buttons. And then as they're transporting it, they get raided by space pirates. And she goes into hiding. She goes into the cargo hold to hide. She's pretty sure they've killed her uncle. But she's hiding with this casket with whatever their cargo is. Ends up pushing some buttons and realizes that inside the casket is this alien life form that she heard of her entire childhood about how evil and monstrous this alien is, or this species of alien is. So she's in the cargo hold. She knows there's an alien. She decides, what do I have to lose? There are space pirates all over my uncle's ship. They've already killed my uncle. So she presses the button, she opens the casket, and lets this alien out, basically. So, not chapter 6. Rule number 6 is, if you do go ahead and poke through the secret cargo, then for the love of all that is holy, watch out which buttons you push. For a moment, you almost believe that you can take back the last 5 minutes. It seems so impossible that you could have done what you did. You were tired and freaked out, but you'd been pretty clever right up until then. Clever and quiet and careful. Not crazy. No death wish. For a moment, you're just angry at yourself, at the world. It feels so unfair that you are going to die because of one stupid decision, one bad moment. "Hey," the pirate calls. "Kid, we know you're on board. We knew you'd show yourself eventually. Come on out. We'll go easy on you." You snort, because what a ridiculous thing to say. What does that mean? Go easy on you? Like, surely he knows that implies nothing easy at all. Plus, it's too late. He's swaggering around without realizing that you're both about to be dead. You're all about to be dead. Come out, wherever you are," he calls, a laugh in his voice. From the casket, the Charkazak unfolds itself, bathed in the glow of the light from within. It rises up and up and up. 8 legs, 2 sets of arms, 6 jointed fingers on its shining chest, and large luminous eyes. It might have human features, but you can't read its expression. It seems to shudder all over, then swings its head your way. Fear makes you nearly pee your pants. You freeze so completely, you don't even draw in breath. It moves towards you, fast, its legs a blur, and leans down, all wide eyes and flaring nose slits. Your mother's gun is lying beside you, but you don't grab for it. You release the Charkazak after all. There's no point fighting it. You whimper. "Come on, girl," calls the pirate. "You think I've never been on a cheap old smuggling ship before? You think I can't find you? Come out, or I'll make you sorry." You close your eyes, but you can still hear the scratch of Charkazak feet against the floor. You can smell the medicinal odor that clings to it from its containment. You can hear its ragged breaths. "I know you killed Richard," says the pirate, his voice falling into a false tone. He's come closer to the grate that conceals the hidden cargo area. Maybe he knew where it was all along. Maybe you were a fool, thinking that they didn't know where you were. He laughs. "You did me a favor there. I owed him money." You hear the slide of metal on metal and open your eyes. The Charkazak is no longer in front of you. You let out your breath all at once, so fast that you feel dizzy. "Hey there, you," the pirate says. Then there's a gasp, and a wet, liquid sound. You sit in the cargo hold for a while. You don't know for how long, too scared to move. But then you force yourself numbly to your feet. You walk past the body of the pirate with a massive bloody hole in his chest, like that Charkazak thrust a clawed hand into his chest and pulled out his heart. The pirate's gurgling a little, but his eyes are shut, and you wouldn't know how to help him, even if you wanted to, which you don't. You go straight to the galley, passing 2 more bodies. They're bent at odd angles, one missing the top of her head, her long red blonde hair in a cloud around her face. There's an odd spatter of red along one wall, and laser blasts have blackened the corridor. In the galley, you wash your hands and make yourself a cup of tea. You eat an entire sleeve of sugar cookies, and then you heat up a freeze-dried package of salty, soy-drenched noodle soup, and eat that too. There's no point dying on an empty stomach. After that, you feel super sleepy. Your eyes are heavy. So you go back to your tiny room, climb under the covers, and close your eyes. I keep saying chapter. Rule number 7. On a spaceship, there really aren't that many places to hide. The Charkazak isn't like the pirates. It's a monster, and you can't hide from monsters. So you don't. But it doesn't come for you. You go into the bathroom and take a shower. You change your clothes and check your mother's gun for ammo. Out in the hallway, the bodies are gone. You return to the galley and drink more tea, noting how the food has been picked over. You didn't count the night before, though, so you're not sure what was eaten by pirates and what was eaten by the alien. You make some oatmeal with reconstituted milk powder. While you're eating, there's movement in the hallway. You duck under the table, hoping that you're not worth the Charkazak's notice. Maybe you're like a rat to it, some kind of ship vermin. Maybe you don't matter. You wrap your arms around your legs and hope you don't matter. It skitters into the room, and you can't help noticing that as large as it is, there's a certain gliding elegance to its movements. Then the Charkazak's body crouches low, bending forward, 2 pairs of arms reaching to the floor to take its weight. Its head tilts under the table, looking straight at you. It blinks. Twice. Hi, you say, because you don't know what else to do. It keeps looking at you, tilting its head the other way this time. Don't be afraid of silence, your uncle told you, but you are afraid. You don't have the upper hand in this situation. You don't have anything to bargain with in trade for your life. Rule number 8. You'll catch more Charkazaks with salt than with sugar. I can make you something, you say, if you don't know how to cook. I know how, it says, after a long moment, and you're completely startled by its voice, which has a little hiss behind it and an accent you're not used to, but that you understand easily enough. It's a young voice, a not much older than you voice, and you have no idea what to make of that. Of course, some part of you knew that Charkazaks could talk, or at least understand. They couldn't have betrayed any treaties if they didn't talk. They couldn't have committed treason if they hadn't sworn fealty to the interplanetary government. But you're still surprised. Monsters aren't supposed to sound like everybody else. He, leans up and begins to move things on the counter, turning on the water heater and setting out 2 tin cups. His many legs move, swift as a centipede's, and equally disturbing. I am going to make some of this red fern tea, he says, opening one of the tins of leaves. You will drink it. You listen to the crinkle of paper, the whine of the steam, and the sound of water splashing into the cup. Tea making is confusing, because you associate it with comfortably curling up with your hollow reader and sleeping off a minor illness. Monsters aren't supposed to be able to make tea. If monsters can make tea, then nothing's safe. What happened to their ship, you ask, because he hasn't killed you, so maybe he'll keep on not killing you? You hear the metal spoon clank against the sides of the cup. Their ship is unharmed, which means that everyone who'd once been inside of it was dead. The Charkazak leans down again and passes you a cup with his delicate, multi-jointed fingers. It's warm in your hands. Thank you. You manage and take a sip. Then you start to cough, It's salty, like your mother described the seas of old Earth. Is there something wrong with it? The Charkazak asks, folding his limbs under him so he can look at you. You shake your head, terrified. You force yourself to take another swig and try not to choke. You don't think you quite pull it off, though, because he looks oddly stricken, studying you with those large, pale eyes. Was this your parents' ship? He asks, taking the cup from you and drinking deeply, as though he's not afraid of tasting your spit or getting your germs. As though he really, really likes salt. How do you know the Solaris isn't mine? You ask. Then you remember that you're trying to get him to think of you as some kind of ship vermin, entirely unimportant, and wish you could take back those words. Is it yours? He asks, not seeming unwilling to believe it, just confused. No, you admit. The ship belonged to my uncle, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. He tilts his head and narrows his eyes, studying you. You freed me, he accuses softly. By accident? You don't want to tell him that you thought of him as a bullet to the head. Your big murder-suicide plan, now staring at you with that gaze. You begin, but you can't think of a lie fast enough. He nods and picks up something from the counter. Then he leaves, the sharpness of his many steps across the floor, a reminder of just how fast and lethal the Charkazaks are. Once he's gone, you draw up your legs, wrap your arms around them, and feel smaller and stupider than ever. You no longer believe that he'll just kill you outright, but that makes you realize how bleak your future has become. Even if the Charkazak dumps you off at some space station, even if you drain your uncle's bank account of all of his credits, the only place you have to go is home. You didn't learn enough from your uncle to fly the Solaris yourself. You have no way to make any money back on Zvezda 9. You're just a farming kid with delusions of grandeur. Of course, you're not sure that the Charkazak will let you off the ship. He's from a fugitive race, hunted by interplanetary centurions. He might want to keep you around so he can shove your face in front of any call screens until he moves outside of regulated space. Then you'd be in the same situation you were in with the pirates. He could sell you or eat you. Or, well, you've heard stories about Charkazaks ripping humans apart, but you're trying not to think about that. You decide you're going to make dinner for him. You break out more rehydratable noodles and start in on making a vat meat goulash. There's a tube of apple jelly and some cheese that you figure you can either make into a dessert or some kind of first course. Halfway through, you think about cooking for your uncle, and tears come to your eyes. You have to sit down and sob for a little while, but it passes. Once the food's done, you pad through the halls of the ship to find the Charkazak. A smear of blood still marks one of the walls, wiped by something, but not wiped clean. All right, we have 2 more rules to go. So when we come back, we will continue with rule number 9, which is the dead are a lot less trouble than the living. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.